Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 255. It is Wednesday. Here in Cincinnati, it's warm, beautiful. We have our blue skies back and puffy white clouds, and the temperature isn't too hot. It is an absolutely gorgeous summer day. This week we started with reset, which I feel like when I call something like that in, then it starts to ripple around my life. I'm like, whoa, whoa, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? And yet, clearly, that is the energy of what's been moving, so it feels true. We are headed towards a new moon on Friday in Virgo. I'm doing a new moon circle here at my house tomorrow, so there is a lot of momentum that I feel is carrying us towards this shift in the lunar cycle. The period between or right before the new moon, many astrologists or those workers who follow the cycles of the moon will describe that as the dark moon, the dark phase. It's a really quiet, introspective time before the night sky is completely dark and the moon is not illuminated. And so there's a lot of clearing, I guess would be a good way to describe it, or awareness that's possible when you picture yourself sitting in a quiet space. There is room to contemplate or explore without all the outside interference. And that's what I believe we have the possibility of experiencing now. So, what does that mean? Well, when I set the vibration or the intention on Monday of a reset, it's because there has been so much in my own journey lately that is being reset. We have had a power outage, the water line main broke, the telephone wire went out, my computer and my domain name had a reset. There has been so much. I use one credit card for all of my business expenses, and that credit card expired, but they didn't send the card in time. Well, it expires this week, but they didn't send the new card in time, and so there's been all this activity of hurry up, you're almost expired, and then the drama of not communicating that properly within all of these platforms that I use. And so much of the swirly feeling, it's possible to move through times like that and still be grounded and still stay steady. And what I find often in the work that I do is that many people, when that swirliness begins, the momentum actually lifts you up and gets you ungrounded and picks you up and puts you in this feeling of a tornado or a whirlwind. It used to be that way for me for a long time. I would get very ungrounded very easily and get caught up in whatever the drama was that was going on around me at the time. And because of my daily practice, because of the visualization that I do and this daily podcast, I mean, Gaia's Love grounds me every single day, and that helps me move through these times that can feel very unsettling with the least amount of resistance and drama possible. So what has happened as all of that has been moving in my world is I've become aware of how, in the process of a reset, like I described on Monday, in the process of pushing the reset button, starting over, beginning with a new energy, a new intention, a new purpose, which is what we have the opportunity to do all the time. We're constantly having endings and beginnings, and yet some are bigger than others. What happens is there are old programs that are running inside of us, old patterns, and when we push the reset button, it can throw those old patterns off. It's like a credit card that's expiring. I use that same number on all these different platforms. And so each of those platforms has to have a reset. I have to go back in, put in the new information so that there's this automatic reboot, a reactivation of, yes, we have a contract, an agreement together. You give me the credit card, I give you the service, and here's how it flows and it works. And so it takes attention and time and focus to go through each of those patterns or programs when we're doing a reset. Perhaps one of the best examples I can offer is what just happened today, because it just continues. So I have, in my energy gym, I upload the videos from our Tuesday conversations and energy workings and magic. We make these videos and then I upload them on Wednesday so that the people who aren't there can watch, or the people who were there and want to, remember or rework through whatever came up in our time together can watch the video. Well, for the last few weeks, the videos haven't been uploading to my website. So I've created another solution, and it's fine, but it's not the way I wanted it to be. Today, the same thing happened when I went to upload, and this time I was in the energy of a reset. So I messaged the website company. I'm like, what is going on? Something is not right, because it used to work and it doesn't work, and it's the same process. So help me figure out what's happening. And the answer was so simple. I haven't finished yet, so we'll see if it works, but I believe it will. The tech support person said, you have to clear the caches. You have to clear the cookies. You have to go into the programming of your technology, of your browser, and have it eliminate the old program so that it can reset with the new program. Duh. How did I not think of that? How did I not realize that I need to clear some cookies? Like, that didn't even come up in my awareness. And yet, of course that needs to happen. So I started looking up, what does that mean even? Because the title just grabbed me so quickly. I'm like, of course, we're all clearing caches. We did a reset, and now we're clearing caches. And so what does that even mean? And so I was looking at the definition, and it described it this way on Google, because, Google has all the answers. On Google, it said when you first visit a website, there's so many files and programs that are running that page that you're interfacing with. And so your browser scans everything and then grabs some of them and says, I'll just remember that these are associated with this website page. And so every time you come back to that website page, your browser shortcuts and tries to get you in a little faster by using those old programs, those old codes. What happens is those websites sometimes change their codes. They upgrade information. They have new settings. They have new information that is being done behind the scenes. So when you come in with your old program, you're not interfacing at the highest possibility with that web page. You're coming in and you're sort of doing it the old way, and then sometimes things don't work right because there's a new program on that new website. Well, that's fabulous, because that means that my videos can start uploading again. The reason it feels important here in this space to share all of that with you is that when we have a reset in our energy system, in our mind, body, spirit, in the way that we're engaging with Gaia, with Source, with humanity, when we declare we are resetting, we are doing something in a different way. We're launching a new product, we're taking a new trip, we're going into a new adventure, we're whatever it is, making some new health commitment to ourselves. When we have that reset program start, what's going to happen often is those old cookies and programs are going to come up and want to be, that's not true, not want. Those old programs are going to want us to stay in the ways that we always have, to stay in what is known, to stay in the programming that is familiar. And so it creates some havoc or confusion in our lives. We're running the old program, and even though we've declared that we're going to reset, there may be some things that need to be cleared out of our mind, body, spirit. so that we can really move into that new vibration. What are those things? It depends on what it is you're being intentional about. It depends on how ingrained and familiar those old patterns are, and how attached you are to doing it the way you've always done it. I had a beautiful conversation with a friend of mine a couple weeks ago after she went through some major health shifts in her life, a very important reset. And I remember just saying to her, the most important advice I can give you as you move forward is do things differently. Do things differently. Create new patterns. When you feel yourself going into the old fear, the old way that was familiar, the wanting to shrink or be smaller, or go with the familiar loop that doesn't get you where you want to be, stop. Change it. Choose love. Step into the more loving conversation with yourself, the more loving conversation with the people around you, the more loving possibility of what it is you're creating next. When we align with a reset, and these old cookies or caches are coming up that need to be cleared, it can be really uncomfortable. And also, it can be really, really exciting. It can be so brand new, so fresh and filled with potential. And what holds us in the old cookie or program is just what was known before, what was familiar before, the code that was written in the old way. We have no idea what new coding is available. But if we just go with what we know, we're going to keep getting more of what we know. So try it differently. Clear the caches. You can visualize it as you're a computer system. You are your laptop or your computer, and you're just sending this message to all of the cells in your body, to your mind, your body, your spirit, like clear the old junk, clear what doesn't serve, and send it down to the earth through my feet and hand it over. Let's try this reset and stay committed to this reset, even when it's a little uncomfortable as these caches are coming up to be cleared. Because what happens is time starts to go by. We get through the first few uncomfortable hours. We get through the first few uncomfortable days. We're learning how to reset again and again, and try this new and have this conversation in a different way, and show up in this relationship in a different way, and treat our body in this different way. We're in these more uncomfortable places. But as time is going by, and a few hours, a few days, all of a sudden a week has gone by, and you're in this new reset, this new vibration, and the old programming is starting to clear its way out. That new programming is so familiar and so comfortable so quickly because it feels good. It's just like the first time you visit a website and you're in love with how cool the website is, and your browser is remembering, programming all these things. And then you go back to what used to be a new website becoming a more familiar website over and over again, and the old becomes more ingrained. You can go to these familiar websites, but with a fresh perspective. All the old ways of seeing things moved out. And then the way you engage with everything is different. It feels different. It feels different to you, and it feels different to the people around you. And because everything feels fresh and new and good, more of that just keeps happening and expanding, and then you're in a groove again with something that is more expansive than it was before, not limited by what it used to be. And then who knows, you may be ready for a new reset in a few weeks, a few months, a year, I don't know. And you'll go through the same old process again, but this time it won't be as scary because you know how you navigated it last time. So Yeah, when you look up clearing caches on Google, it says we should keep doing that. We should keep coming back and doing that. Periodically, we want to clear out all those old cookies, get rid of them, and start fresh again. So we may be doing this process for a long, long time. The process itself becomes less scary the more that we do it. So, clear some caches. It's a conscious choice to be aware of those patterns and then choose differently. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.